Good morning, everybody. It's Sandy Bacus here. I'm going to move my screen around a little bit. I forgot to put something up under my laptop to raise it up a little bit, so you're seeing the ceiling. And it's a dark, dreary, rainy day here in northern Ohio. And I'm having a heck of a time trying to figure out what to do about lighting. So I turned this light on that's over here in front of me. So I've got the glare on my glasses. It's driving me nuts. So I'm going to pull the glasses off and I'm going to do the rest of the video blind. Welcome, everybody. I know I have some new subscribers, so welcome to you, and welcome back to everybody who's been here every step of the way. I want to thank everybody for your comments on last week's video. They were quite interesting, and some of us had differences of opinion, but everybody was kind in their comments, and I like that. I think that we should all be able to have our own opinions and not be put down by other people if they don't agree. Just have them express how they feel and then go on from there. And as one person said, agree to disagree. And I certainly can go along with that. The only thing I did want to add to that, and it really doesn't have anything to do with what I said per se about guns, but I just wanted to mention when I was working, the company that I worked for, our facility was on total lockdown 24 hours a day. And the way that they did that was, well, I think the reason why they did that was, number one, because of the changes in society, number one. Number two, we did pharmaceutical printing, and well, not totally, but a lot of pharmaceutical printing, and a lot of the items that were being printed for pharmaceuticals were for drugs that hadn't been put out on the market yet. So a lot of the information was confidential. And you'll probably be able to hear in the background, two of my cats are kind of not happy with each other. They've been kind of, yesterday and today, they've been kind of really antagonizing one another. They are neutered males, but they just don't seem to get along too well. So one's ranging through here right now looking for trouble. So we'll see whether he's behaves himself. Okay, next, I wanted to explain to you about how they handled that lockdown. All doors from the outside were locked. You could not get in from the outside. Employees had a swipe card that we held in front of a little box, and if it recognized our card, then it led us through that doorway. There were actually other doorways within the facility, like between the office and the plant, that during certain hours, those were also locked down. And if your card did not fit into that particular hour, in other words, second shift employees after like 4 o'clock in the afternoon could not get into the office unless their card had approval for that. Doors were all accessible from the inside to the outside. All you had to do was push on the door and it would open. And in the front where visitors would come in, they actually had like a little foyer that was a glass enclosed. You could come in that door. That door was open. You walked into a little foyer. There was a door that entered the offices that was locked, and there was a little window there that was also locked. And when someone came in, there was a bell up there, or buzzer, and they could push that buzzer, and one of us from the office would go over there and open the little window and find out, you know, most of the time it was someone that we knew that was coming in. But if we didn't know them, we'd ask them, you know, could we help them? The only way anybody could get from that foyer into the actual office area was if we opened that door and let them in. There was no buzzing anybody in or anything like that. We would actually go over, open that door, and let them in. The glass was, I don't want to say it was bulletproof, but it would not, a bullet would maybe shatter it, but it wouldn't make a, you know, go break it and make it fall. That was the explanation we were given for that. Anybody who wanted, like UPS drivers or truck drivers or anybody who wanted to get into the back, there was buzzers on both sides of the building where the docks were, and people could buzz and somebody would come and find out what their business was and let them in. Maybe that's something that needs to be done at our schools, and I know that would all cost money, but it's a possibility. It's something to look at as maybe a start to protect our children. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that now. All right, I had no finishes. I did work on some projects. I had a goal last week on Japanese garden and spring garden spot to do an hour 3 days a week on Japanese garden and a half an hour 3 days a week on garden spot. Didn't happen. I did not pick up garden spot at all. That's the Paula Vaughn. It just needs back stitching. Never picked it up. I did pick up Japanese garden once. I will show it to you. I would say that's not a whole heck of a lot of progress, but it's something. There are some stitches in there. I worked on that maybe about an hour and a half one day. This past week was kind of, I don't know, the weather was just so crappy. It's been rainy. It's been dreary. There's been hardly any sun at all. If it did come out, it was, you know, maybe a half hour and then it was gone again. I felt really unsettled all week. Even I said to my husband, I apologized to him because I says, I feel like I've been jumping down your throat all week. And he says, yeah, you have been. And I said, well, I'm sorry. I says, I don't know why I'm doing that. I just have this unsettled feeling. My sinuses have been all crazy with this weather. It's cold, and then it'd be up above freezing, and then the next day it's cold again, and just it's enough to drive you crazy. And I don't think I said when I started that today is my 21st Flosstube. Amazing. And it is February 23rd, and it's early in the morning. Let me see on my phone here what time it is. Well, it's not that early anymore. It's just 9 o'clock. I've been up since probably 3:45, off and on. Cat decided that it wanted to go outside at that time of the morning, and of course came up there and decided that you're not sleeping until somebody lets me out. That cat sometimes is very trying. All right, so anyways, I also worked on Home Sweet Home, which is my design works, and I didn't bring the picture down here, but it's the one, it's a kitchen scene with the dogs and the cat in the middle, and utensils and cookbooks and things like that. Well, it's not a lot of progress because this was a new start just last week. Let me try to fold this a little bit so I can hold it so that you can see just what I've got done. But I got almost all of the cat's head completed in there, and then the little pan that's hanging on the wall. I never saw a purple pan before, but or lavender or whatever, but that's what how it's charted, so that's what we've got. So there's a, you know, a good start on that. So that'll come out again sometime. And then the other one that I worked on is my Shades of Summer, and that's my Artisy. That's my huge project. I think it was last week or the week before, I was talking about how I realized just how big that one is, and that I needed to set up some kind of a schedule for page finishes, and my hope was to finish it in 4 years. Well, I don't know about that. I stitched on that a lot this week, and I'm going to try to fold this so that you'll be able to see what I've got here and get my threads down. But my goal is to have the first 2 pages finished by the end of February, and I just don't know that that's could happen. Well, it maybe could if I didn't do anything else. But here we are. I'm going to try to show you here that this right here, this was page 1, and this is all finished. This is finished. This is just a light color in here. This is all finished except for just a few little bits in here, and that's because this whole section here was confetti hell. I mean, it took me forever to put stitches in there. And now this page over here, the top part is not so bad because there were quite a few areas where I can't see what I'm showing you. There were quite a few areas in here where there was a lot in the same color. But now we're getting down here, and this, again, you can see all those little stitches in there. It's getting back into confetti. And that's the reason why I don't think that I can finish that by the end of February. But I'm going to do my best. But then I'm going to tell you about something here in a minute, and that's going to interfere with it. But my goal was 1 page every 2 months. So maybe when I move over into another part of this, I'll get some pages that have the same color for more than 2 stitches. And then maybe that'll go quicker, and it'll help me to get back on track. We'll see. You never know. I haven't sat down and looked at all the other pages to see if that's going to work or not. Okay, now, Sunday the 25th is my birthday. Yay! I love birthdays. My husband, he gets upset. He says, oh, it just means we're getting older, we're getting older. And I says, yeah, but what's the alternative? You know, I'd much rather get older than get dead. So, to put it bluntly. And and I'm not ashamed to say how old I am. I will be 69 years old on Sunday, and I've lived every one of those years. I think it's been a pretty good life. I have made mistakes through the years, especially when I was a lot younger. As you get older, you tend to get a little smarter or gain some wisdom. Maybe smart is not the right word. Maybe just that you your life experiences give you some wisdom so that you make better decisions. But I'm happy it's my birthday. And so because it's going to be my birthday on Sunday, I'm going to have a new start. And I think the one that I'm going to start is going to be my Frederick the Literate. Probably take me forever, but you know, I'm ready to start it. I softened up the material yesterday with the fabric softener, and I think it's going to work just fine. And I also softened up the fabric, that original Japanese garden fabric. I put that in there too and softened that up a little bit. And that one is going to be, I'm going to use that for this one. That's the chart only because I don't have a picture. But I don't think anybody can see that chart from here. But anyways, I'm going to be starting that one too. Maybe this next week. I don't know how many of you watch Johnny. She is in Mexico, and she's the one who does all the beautiful, beautiful mirrors. Her stitching is just amazing. And she had a birthday, I think it was last week. And she was going to have a new start every day for her birthday week. I'm not going to do that. I don't even have enough stuff kitted up to do that. But maybe I'll have 2 new starts. Maybe I'll start one on Sunday, and maybe I'll start one like maybe the last day of the month or something. That would be doable. And in saying that, I just wanted to mention that I know when I first started doing these videos, I have really changed. since my first video and now, my whole philosophy about cross stitch has changed, and a lot of that has to do with Flosstube. Got to blame something, right? So I'm going to blame Flosstube. I was very leery about having more than 1 or 2 projects going at a time when I first started cross stitching. And in fact, when I first started, it was just one project. You get it done, and then you'd be sick of it, and you wouldn't want to touch cross stitch again for, you know, a year. But now I see the understanding behind having a whole bunch of projects going, because you grow a little bored with something, or it's given you a little bit of a problem, and you can put it down and pull something else out. You don't have to stop stitching. And at first I kept saying, well, you know, I'm this many years old, and, you know, I shouldn't have more stash than what I can do in my life expectancy, and I shouldn't start more projects than my life expectancy. But how the heck do I know how long I'm going to live? You know, that's in God's hands. And he could take me from this earth next week. I hope not, because I'm having too much darn fun. But it could happen. But then again, I could live like my mom was 97. We just don't know that. So how can I know how much stash is too much stash? And how can I know how many started projects or too many started projects? And what I heard I think it was on Flosstube, and I wished I would have written down the name of the person so I could give them credit for this, but I didn't. So I'm just going to say it. They said something about you buy these beautiful projects because you fall in love with them. And then if all they do is they sit in a box or a shelf or a drawer or wherever it is you have your stash, if all that happens is it sits there and you never start it, you're missing out on the joy of working on that project. And so what if you have 50 projects started? At least you got to work on something that you loved, even if it was just a little bit, and something would happen and you'd never be able to work on it again. So I'm owning that statement. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to have 50 whips. But I do have some things up there that I really would like to get some stitches into. And so this year, I think it's going to be my year of starts. Not like, you know, any of the stitching groups or anything, but just mine for me to own. And when I feel like starting something, I'm going to start it. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to mention was when I had gone to Goodwill, I had picked up a book, $1.49, and this book was so good that I thought I would just let you guys know about it. And it's called True Colors, and it's by Kristen Hanna, and I haven't quite finished it yet. You can see where my bookmark is here. I'm almost done. Thought I was going to finish it this morning while I was having my coffee, but I didn't quite make it. It starts out a little slow. It's a story about 3 sisters and their lives, and what holds them together, what tears them apart, what brings them back together. I like it. I like the story, and I have a feeling that I know how it's going to end, but then again, you never know, because there could be a twist of fate at the very end. But I would suggest this. It's an older book. I think that it was 2009. Yes, 2009 copyright, but library would probably have it, and who knows, maybe it's still available like through Kindle or Amazon or something like that. So True Colors by Kristen Hanna. All right. Also, I had an act of kindness from a fellow Flosstuber and Instagrammer. I had posted a picture of my Paula Vaughn Spring Garden spot on Instagram when, well, a couple weeks ago, somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly when it was. But Jonna saw that and said, put a comment on there and said, do you like Paula Vaughn's? And I said, love them. And she came back and said that she had several that she was trying to find a good home for and would I like them. And I said, I would love them. So I gave her my address and she mailed them out to me right away. So I just want to share with you these. I'm not sure, and I told her, I'm not sure I'll stitch all of these, but if I decide not to stitch them at some point, I will share them with someone else that loves Paula Vaughn. So here's the first one. And I definitely would stitch this one. I love that. I think it's pretty. And it's called Reflections of the Past. And then the next one is this one. And this one is Mother's Loving Hands. And that one, I may. It just depends on how many other things that I have. And this is the one that I'm not sure about because it's the mother with the bride. My kids are gone from home, and my daughter didn't get married in a white dress. She got married in a park after she'd already had a couple of kids. So this white dress thing just doesn't quite. With the other white dress, I kind of thought, well, I could kind of think like it was just a fancy dress. So this one I may not keep, but we'll see. You never know. I really, really like those charts. They're beautiful. Thank you, Jonna. I really appreciate that. Okay, now it is time to announce the winners of the charts from last week. And let me get these out here. And there was a couple we didn't have any takers for. So we didn't have any takers for the Ascension. We didn't have any takers for Victoriana. And we didn't have any takers for the flowers. And I said before that I really like these flowers, so I just may pull this out of here myself and put that in my stash to stitch. Okay, so the teapot and the bird is what everybody wanted. And I use a random number generator, and I do that right before I start the video so that I don't have to take up time on the video doing that. So the teapot goes to Susan Oberfeld. Congratulations. I have her address because she has one other chart. So I'll be getting that out. And the bird is going to Belinda Z. And I don't think I have your address. I don't think you've gotten any charts before. So I will need that. My email is always in the description below. So I'll wait a couple of days. If I don't hear from you, then I will go ahead and put a message on your comment that you asked for them. And now, charts for the next time. As I was going through stuff, I kept pulling up Christmas, and I thought, well, I'll wait until maybe around June, and then I'll start showing those Christmas ones because I've got all these other ones to show. So this one, there's two sets of charts on here. The first one, and the charts kind of show, so I'm going to try to. This one is called Born to Shop, and that's a cute little one. And then on the back are these Halloween ones, and those are the charts. There's not a picture for those. I think those are really kind of cute. And they're set up so that you could stitch separately or put them however you wanted. So that one, if you are interested in getting these two charts, then just say that you'd like to stitch Born to Shop. Okay, next one. This one is a sampler, And I'm checking to see if there's any other ones. Yep, there's another one. And that's the sampler. Okay, so there's a couple of things on here, so I'll try to show you. This is Old Woman in Shoe. Kind of cute. And it has the Old Woman in a Shoe poem on there. And this one says, there was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She rose before daybreak and, being no fool, packed them all lunches, then sent them to school. So then the next one is this little basket, and that one is called Delectable Harvest. So the chart is also there for that one. And let's see, these pages are sticking together. Okay, that's for the Old Woman in a Shoe. And then there is just the chart on here for these wild ponies on the back. So if you are interested in this one, say you'd like to stitch Old Woman for Old Woman in a Shoe. My bra strap comes coming down. Okay, next one. This one is really pretty. Let's see if there's anything else with this. Yeah, okay. It is this beautiful floral fan. And the chart is there for that. And then, that's the chart. There's also, that's just the chart for that floral. And then there's also just the chart on the back here for something called Paisley Reflection. And what it is it just gives you one corner, and then you're just supposed to mirror image it around to put something in the middle. So that is all included here with the floral fan. So it's actually called Victorian Floral Fan, but if you would like to stitch this, just say you'd like to stitch the fan. And the next one are those beautiful flowers. When I was going through the stuff today, I was thinking, oh, it's so dreary out. Let's find some pretty stuff, some colorful stuff. And let's see if that is the only thing that is here with that. And yes, it is. And they've done that up as a pillow. So the instructions are there for a pillow. So if you are interested in stitching this one, just say you'd like to stitch the pillow. And then last but not least, we have this one. It's just this one, and it's called Earth Angel. So if you are interested in stitching this particular one, then tell me you would like to stitch the angel. And that's it for this week. You can follow me on Instagram under Sandy Smith Bacus. And I think that's all I have for you today. So I'm going to go up after I'm done with this. I'm going to work on my craft room a little bit. I haven't gotten around to that. Stitch some more on Shades of Summer. And I'm going to work on that for the rest of the weekend. And then on Sunday, well, except for Sunday, on Sunday, when I get home from church, I am going to do my new start and start Frederick. So y'all have a good week. I hope everybody gets lots of time for stitching, and that nobody has to frog anything. I've been seeing a lot of talk about frogging on Instagram. Make the frog leave. Tell him to go away. Nobody likes that old frog. So until next week, you all take care, and I will see you then. Bye.